and welcome back to DreamWave English. I'm Sophia, your host for today. Imagine this. You arrive at a restaurant in an English-speaking country. Maybe you are in London, New York, Sydney, or Toronto. You feel a little nervous. You wonder, what should I say? How do I order? Will they understand me? Don't worry, today we will practice together, step by step, so you can feel relaxed and confident. The goal of this lesson is simple. I want to give you the exact words and sentences you need. With these phrases, you will not feel lost. You will know what to say when you enter the restaurant, how to ask for a table, and how to respond when the staff asks you a question. By the end of this part, you will feel ready to walk into any restaurant and start your meal without stress. So, let's begin right at the entrance. Picture the moment you push open the door of the restaurant. The smell of delicious food comes to you. People are sitting, laughing, eating. At the front, you see someone standing near a small desk. This person is usually the first person you meet. Their job is to welcome you and to show you where to sit. In English, this person is called a host, if it is a man, or a hostess, if it is a woman. Their role is very important. They are like the guide at the start of your dining journey. When you meet them, what should you do first? The answer is simple. Look at them, make eye contact, and smile. A smile is powerful. A smile says, "Hello, I am friendly. I am polite." Even before speaking, your smile creates a positive atmosphere. Now, after you smile, you need to speak. What is the most important phrase at this stage? The golden phrase is, "A table for two, please." This sentence is short, polite, and perfect. Let's break it down. A table equals what you want. For two equals the number of people in your group. Please equals the magic word that makes it polite. So if you are with a friend, you say, "A table for two, please." If you are with 3 friends, so 4 people in total, you say, "A table for 4, please." If you are alone, you can say, "A table for 1, please." This sentence works for every situation. You only need to change the number. Think of it as a magic key. With this key, the host or hostess immediately understands what you want. Now, what happens after you say this phrase? The host or hostess may respond in different ways. Let's look at the easy situation first. The restaurant is not busy. There are many free tables. The host will smile and say something like, "Of course, this way, please." Or, "Certainly. Follow me, please." When you hear this, you simply follow them. They will take you to your table and you can sit down. Easy, right? But sometimes the restaurant is very busy, especially on weekends. In this case, the host may ask you an important question. Do you have a reservation? This word reservation is very useful. A reservation means that you called or booked online before you came. You chose a time, and the restaurant saved a table for you. In American English, some people also say booking. It is the same idea. So how do you answer this question? If you do have a reservation, you can say, "Yes, I do. It's under the name, your name." For example, "Yes, I do. It's under the name, Maria." The host will then check the list, find your name, and take you to your table. But if you don't have a reservation, simply say, "No, I don't." If you are alone, or "No, we don't," if you are with other people. Now, what will the host say next? Two things can happen. If they still have free tables, they might say, "No problem. This way, please." Great. You will get a table even without a reservation. If the restaurant is full, they will politely tell you to wait. For example, "I'm sorry. There will be a short wait, about 20 minutes." Or, "It will be around half an hour." At this point, you can decide. If you are okay waiting, you can say, "Okay, we will wait," and then sit in the waiting area. If you don't want to wait, you can say, "Thank you anyway. Goodbye," and then go to another restaurant. Let's review this small but very useful conversation. The host: "Do you have a reservation?" You: "Yes, I do. It's under the name Anna." Or, "No, we don't." After that, you listen to what they say and follow their instructions. Simple, clear, and confident. With these steps, you are no longer nervous at the entrance. You know exactly what to do. Smile. Say the magic phrase, "A table for number, please." Answer the question about reservations. Congratulations, you have already completed the first stage of your restaurant journey. You can walk inside, you can ask for a table, and you can deal with the situation whether you have a reservation or not. That is a big step forward. Before we finish part let's do a quick recap. Always start with a smile. Use the golden phrase, "A table for two, please." Change the number depending on your group. Be ready to answer the question, "Do you have a reservation?" with either, "Yes, it's under the name," or "No, we don't." If you must wait, listen to the time and decide. Now you are ready to sit down. The first challenge is complete. You see, it is not scary at all when you know the words. In the next part, we will continue. You are at your table now, and the next step begins, ordering your food and drinks. You have made it. You smiled, you asked for a table, and you are now sitting comfortably in the restaurant. Congratulations! The first step is complete. But now, the real reason you came to the restaurant begins. You are here for food and drinks. This is the heart of the experience, and it is also the moment when many English learners feel nervous. Don't worry, we are going to practice every step together. By the end of this part, you will know how to order drinks, how to ask for food, and finally, how to ask for the bill when you are finished. These three skills, drinks, food, and payment, are the essential survival tools for every restaurant visit. So let's begin. Imagine you are looking around the restaurant. You are sitting at your table. Who will come to help you now? The person who takes care of you at your table is called a waiter if it is a man, or a waitress if it is a woman. Their job is to bring you the menu, take your order, and bring the food and drinks. They are your main contact during the meal. The waiter usually starts by giving you the menu. The menu is the list of all the food and drinks the restaurant offers. In a simple restaurant, it might be one page. In a big restaurant, it might be many pages. Often, the first thing the waiter asks is about drinks. This is very common. They may say, "Can I get you something to drink to start?" Or, "Would you like something to drink?" So, how do you order a drink in polite English? There is a golden phrase, just like we had for asking for a table. The golden phrase is, "I would like, please." You can also use the short form, "I'd like, please." This phrase is perfect because it is polite, clear, and natural. Native speakers use it all the time. Let's practice. If you want water, you say, "I'd like some water, please." If you want juice, you say, "I'd like an orange juice, please." If you want coffee, you say, "I'd like a coffee, please." Simple, right? Just put the drink after the phrase. Another good phrase is, "Can I have, please?" For example, "Can I have a lemonade, please?" Both "I'd like" and "can I have" are excellent. You can use either one. Now, after you order drinks, the waiter will bring them to your table. While you enjoy your drink, you look at the menu to decide what food you want. Take your time. When you are ready, the waiter will come back and ask, "Are you ready to order?" Or, "What can I get for you?" This is your chance to use the golden phrase again. Remember, the same phrase works for food and drinks. Let's practice with food. If you want pizza, you say, "I'd like the pepperoni pizza, please." If you want chicken and rice, you say, "I'd like the chicken with rice, please." If you want salad, you say, "Can I have the salad, please?" You see, very easy. You don't need to memorize many different sentences. Just one or two polite phrases can help you order anything. Now, what happens after you finish eating? You feel happy, your plate is empty, and it's time to pay. This is another important moment. In English, the paper that shows how much money you need to pay is called the bill. In American English, people also say the check. Both words mean the same thing. So how do you ask for the bill? Again, use a short and polite phrase. "The bill, please." Or, "Can we have the bill, please?" That's it. Very simple. When you say this, the waiter will bring you the bill. You can then pay with cash or with a card. After you pay, don't forget the last polite step. Say thank you. A simple thank you goes a long way. You can say, "Thank you, that was lovely." Or, "Thank you, everything was delicious." or even just thank you, have a good evening. With this, your restaurant visit is complete. You entered, you asked for a table, you ordered food and drinks, and you paid the bill. Step by step, you managed everything with confidence. Let's review the key phrases from this part. Ordering drinks. I'd like some water, please. Can I have an orange juice, please? Ordering food. I'd like the chicken with rice, please. Can I have the pizza, please? Asking for the bill. The bill, please. Can we have the bill, please? Saying thank you, thank you. That was lovely. With just these sentences, you can survive and succeed in any restaurant or cafe. They are easy to learn, easy to remember, and always polite. Now, think about how much progress you have already made. At the start, you might have felt nervous, but now you have a clear plan. You know exactly what to say in every stage: arriving, ordering drinks, ordering food, and paying. That is powerful. But wait, we are not finished. Everything we practice so far is at the essential level. It's perfect for beginners and for anyone who wants to feel safe and confident. But what if you want more? What if you want to sound like a native speaker? What if you want to go beyond survival and actually shine when you speak? That's what we will do in the next parts. We will move to the advanced level. We will learn not just what to say, but how to say it with elegance, subtlety, and style. You will discover the language that native speakers use, the cultural details that make communication smooth, and the little secrets that turn a simple meal into a beautiful social performance. So, congratulations, you have completed the essentials. You can now walk into any restaurant, order your food, and pay with confidence. In part 3, we will step into the advanced world. Get ready, because the journey is about to become even more exciting. You now know the basic survival phrases. You can enter a restaurant, ask for a table, order food and drinks, and ask for the bill. That is a huge achievement. But now, let's go deeper. Let's explore the advanced level. At this level, you are not just communicating. You are creating a full experience. You are not only asking for a table, you are shaping the evening. You are not only ordering food, you are engaging in a polite and enjoyable conversation. This is the difference between basic communication and masterful interaction. So, where do we start? We start at the very beginning, before you even step inside the restaurant. 1. Making a reservation. At the basic level, you might say, I want to book a table. This is correct, but it is a little direct. At the advanced level, we soften our language and add more detail. For example, I was hoping to book a table for 2 this Friday evening around 7:30. Notice how this is softer and more polite. I was hoping to is less direct than I want. It also shows respect for the restaurant's schedule. You can also make your request more specific. If possible, we'd love a table by the window. We're celebrating a birthday, so something a little more private would be wonderful. These extra details not only help you get a better table, they also show that you are thoughtful and polite. 2. Arriving with confidence. Now imagine you arrive at the restaurant. At the basic level, you say, "A table for 2, please." At the advanced level, you connect your arrival to your reservation. For example, "Good evening. We have a reservation for 2 at 7:30 under the name Maria." This sounds more precise and confident. It immediately shows that you are organized. What if the host takes you to a table you don't like? Maybe it's near the door or next to the kitchen. Instead of saying, "I don't like this table," you can use softer, polite language. For example, "This is lovely, but I wonder if you might have a table that's a little quieter. We'd prefer something a bit less close to the door, if possible." Notice the words "a little," "a bit," "if possible." These are softeners. They make your request sound gentle and polite. 3. Building rapport with the waiter. At the basic level, you order by saying, "I'd like some water, please." Perfect. At the advanced level, you can also build a friendly connection with the waiter. How? By using their name if they introduce themselves. Imagine the waiter says, "Good evening. My name is Daniel, and I'll be taking care of you tonight." Instead of just saying, "Water, please," you can say, "Thank you, Daniel. A bottle of sparkling water would be lovely." Using their name shows respect and attention. It changes the interaction from a transaction into a personal connection. You can also ask polite questions to show interest. "Daniel, are there any specials this evening that aren't on the menu?" This small question shows that you are curious and engaged. It also makes the waiter feel valued because you are giving them a chance to share their knowledge. 4. Understanding the menu. At the essential level, the menu is just a list of food. At the advanced level, the menu is full of stories and signals. Many modern restaurants use special vocabulary to make the food sound unique. For example, artisan bread equals bread made in a traditional way, by hand, not in a factory. Heritage tomatoes equals tomatoes from old traditional varieties, not modern ones. Foraged mushrooms equals mushrooms collected in the wild, not bought in a supermarket. These words are marketing tools. They make the food feel special. As an advanced speaker, you can understand these signals and talk about them naturally. Also, pay attention to cooking methods. Pan-seared equals quickly cooked in a hot pan for a crispy outside. Blanched equals briefly boiled, then cooled in water to stay fresh and colorful. Cured equals preserved with salt or sugar, not cooked with heat. When you understand these terms, you can read the menu like a native speaker. It makes ordering easier and more interesting. 5. Polite ordering at the advanced level. At the basic level, you say, "I'd like the chicken, please." At the advanced level, you can turn ordering into a polite and enjoyable conversation. For example, if you see market fish of the day on the menu but you don't know what it is, don't just guess. Ask politely. I was intrigued by the market fish. Could you tell me a little more about it? This is a very elegant way to ask for more information. It shows you are interested and respectful. If you want to make a small change to your dish, don't say, I don't want fries. Give me salad. That sounds rude. Instead say, would it be possible to have a salad instead of fries? Or, if it's not too much trouble, could I have the sauce on the side? These polite phrases make your request sound soft and reasonable. Most restaurants will be happy to say yes. 6. The power of subtlety. Advanced English speakers often use indirect language. Instead of being very direct, they add softeners like, I was wondering if, would it be possible? If it's not too much trouble, I wonder if. These phrases make you sound polite, confident, and natural. They show that you respect the other person while still getting what you want. Quick recap. At the advanced level, your goal is not only to order food, but to create a positive, friendly, and sophisticated interaction. Let's remember the key points. Making reservations. I was hoping to book a table for 2 at 7:30. Arriving. Good evening. We have a reservation under the name Maria. Requesting a better table. This is lovely, but could we have something a little quieter? Building rapport with the waiter. Use their name. Ask about specials. Understanding the menu. Learn words like artisan, heritage, foraged, pan-seared, blanched, cured, polite modifications. Would it be possible to have salad instead of fries? With these tools, you are no longer just a customer. You are a confident and polite diner who can manage the situation with grace. And this is only the beginning of the advanced journey. In the next part, we will go even deeper. We will learn how to describe food like a professional, how to give compliments, and even how to make polite complaints if something goes wrong. This will take your English to the next level of fluency. So far, we have covered how to enter a restaurant, ask for a table, order food and drinks, and even how to sound more advanced when making requests. Now let's move to one of the most enjoyable and sometimes most difficult parts of dining out, talking about the food itself. At the essential level, you probably know 1 or 2 simple words. For example, when something tastes good, you might say, it's delicious. And that's fine. Delicious is a good word. But at the advanced level, you need more than 1 word. You need a vocabulary that lets you describe food in detail, so you can sound like a native speaker or even like a food critic. Uno. Beyond delicious. Let's start with 3 powerful words you can use when food is truly amazing. Exquisite. This means beautiful, delicate, and carefully made. You can say, the presentation of this dish is exquisite. Or, the flavor of the fish was absolutely exquisite. Sublime. This word is very strong. It means so wonderful that it almost feels spiritual or magical. For example, this chocolate cake is sublime. I've never tasted anything like it. A triumph. Yes, you can call food a triumph. This means the dish is a big success, an achievement for the chef. For example, the balance of sweet and sour in this dish is an absolute triumph. These words go far beyond delicious. They show that you are really impressed and that you appreciate the chef's work. 2. Describing flavors. Food is not just good or bad. Food has flavors. Advanced speakers can describe those flavors with precision. Here are some useful words. Piquant. This means pleasantly sharp or spicy. For example, the sauce has a piquant flavor that balances the meat. Zesty. This means fresh, bright, and full of energy, often with citrus flavors like lemon or lime. For example, the dessert has a zesty lime filling. Robust. This describes strong, deep flavors like slow-cooked meat or a strong coffee. For example, this stew has a robust flavor that comes from hours of cooking. Subtle. This describes delicate, gentle flavors that are not too strong. For example, there's a subtle hint of garlic in this pasta. With these words, you can describe food like an expert, not just say tasty or good. 3. Describing textures. Food is not only about taste. It is also about how it feels in your mouth, the texture. Here are some advanced words. Velvety, smooth and soft, like velvet fabric. For example, this soup has a velvety texture. Unctuous, rich, oily, and luxurious, used in a positive way. For example, the sauce was unctuous and full of flavor. Ethereal, very light and delicate, almost like it's from another world. For example, the foam on this dish is ethereal. It disappears in your mouth. These words make your compliments sound more impressive and more advanced. 4. Giving compliments. When you enjoy your meal, it is polite to tell the waiter and sometimes even the chef. At the basic level, you might say, "It's delicious." At the advanced level, you can say, "My compliments to the chef. The fish was exquisite. That dessert was absolutely sublime. Thank you. Everything was cooked perfectly. It was a triumph." These sentences make you sound polite, appreciative, and confident. They also make the staff feel good, which is always nice. 5. Making polite complaints. But what if something goes wrong? Maybe your soup is cold or your steak is too tough. This can feel stressful in English, but don't worry, we can handle it with polite language. The most important rule: be indirect and gentle. Don't say, "This soup is cold." That sounds too strong. Instead, you can say, "I'm afraid my soup seems to have gone a little cold. I'm finding the steak to be a bit tough." Notice the softeners. "I'm afraid," seems to, a bit. These make your complaint sound polite and not aggressive. Another polite phrase is, "This isn't quite what I was expecting." This is useful if the dish is not what you imagined from the menu. It doesn't blame anyone. It simply opens a conversation. And if they bring you the wrong dish, you can say, "I think there may have been a slight misunderstanding. I ordered the chicken, but this looks like beef." Again, polite and indirect. You are not accusing. You are just pointing out the mistake. 6. Why politeness matters. When you complain politely, 2 good things happen. The staff will fix the problem more quickly and happily. You will feel confident because you know how to handle the situation without stress. Polite complaints show that you are not only a good speaker of English, but also a considerate person. That is a very powerful combination. Quick recap. In this part, we learn how to move beyond the basics and speak like an advanced diner. Let's review. Use strong compliments. Exquisite, sublime, a triumph. Describe flavors. Piquant, zesty, robust, subtle. Describe textures. Velvety, unctuous, ethereal. Give compliments politely. My compliments to the chef. The fish was exquisite. Make complaints politely. I'm afraid my soup seems to have gone cold. This isn't quite what I was expecting. With this vocabulary, you can talk about food like a true connoisseur. You can show appreciation when the meal is good, and you can handle problems with grace when something goes wrong. In the next part, we will explore another area that many learners find intimidating: the wine list and how to speak to a sommelier. Even native speakers sometimes feel nervous here. But don't worry, we will break it down step by step so you can feel confident in any situation. For many learners of English, ordering food feels manageable once you know the key phrases. But then the waiter hands you a wine list. Suddenly, everything looks complicated. Strange words, long names, different regions, different years. Even native speakers often feel nervous in this situation. But don't worry. With a few simple strategies and phrases, you can feel confident when choosing wine in English. 1. What is a sommelier? In many restaurants, especially fine dining restaurants, there is a special person called a sommelier. A sommelier is a wine expert. Their job is to help you choose the perfect wine for your meal. They know about the flavors, the regions, and how each wine pairs with different foods. You don't need to know everything about wine. That's the sommelier's job. Your job is just to communicate clearly what you like and what you want. 2. How to ask for help. The easiest way to handle a wine list is to ask for a recommendation. Sommeliers love to share their knowledge. You don't have to pretend you are an expert. Just be honest and polite. For example, could you recommend a wine that goes well with the steak? We'd love something light and refreshing to go with the fish. What would you suggest? I don't know much about wine. Could you guide us to something smooth and not too heavy? These sentences are simple, polite, and very effective. They show respect for the sommelier's expertise and make your life easier. 3. Useful vocabulary for describing wine preferences. When you talk to a sommelier, it helps to know a few key words. Dry, a wine that is not sweet. Sweet, a wine with noticeable sugar, often in dessert wines. Fruity, a wine that tastes of fruit, like berries, apples, or citrus. Light-bodied, a wine that feels light and easy to drink. Full-bodied, a wine that feels heavy, rich, and strong. Smooth, a wine that is soft and easy, without sharpness. Tannic, a wine that feels dry and slightly bitter, often in red wines. With just these words, you can already describe what you like. For example, I prefer something light and fruity. We'd like a smooth, full-bodied red, please. 4. Talking about price politely. Sometimes the price of wine can be a sensitive topic. You may want to enjoy wine without spending too much. But how do you say this politely in English? You don't need to ask directly, what is the cheapest wine? That sounds a little awkward. Instead, you can use these polite phrases. We're looking for something around the $40 range. Could you suggest a good bottle under $50? We'd love a nice wine, but nothing too extravagant. These sentences are polite, clear, and natural. They tell the sommelier your budget without embarrassment. 5. When the wine arrives, when the sommelier brings the wine, they usually perform a small ceremony. They show you the bottle, they open it, they pour a little into your glass. This is called the tasting ritual. Many learners worry about what to do here. Let's break it down. The sommelier shows you the bottle. Simply smile and nod, or say, yes, that's perfect. They open the bottle and pour a little wine into your glass. This is not for you to drink the whole sip. It is just to check if the wine is good, not spoiled. Swirl the glass gently, take a small sip, and then smile. If everything is fine, say, that's lovely, thank you, or simply, perfect. If the wine is bad, very rare, you can say, I think this bottle might be off, but usually everything will be fine. 6. Making wine sound natural in conversation. Once you start drinking, you might want to talk about the wine with your friends at the table. Here are some natural comments. This wine is really smooth. I love the fruity notes. It pairs beautifully with the steak. Notice the word pairs. This is very common in English when talking about food and wine. We say, this wine pairs well with seafood. Or, this red pairs perfectly with the lamb. 7. Handling wine like a native speaker. Here are 3 small tips to make you sound confident. Don't panic about pronunciation. Wine names, especially French or Italian, are hard even for native speakers. If you're not sure how to say it, just point at the menu and ask, could you help me pronounce this one? Don't feel pressure to finish the bottle. In English-speaking countries, it is completely normal to take the unfinished wine home. You can say, could we have the rest of the bottle to take away, please? Don't be afraid to admit you're not an expert. Native speakers often say, "I don't know much about wine, but this one is lovely." Being honest makes you sound natural and relaxed. Quick recap. In this part, we focused on wine and how to speak confidently in a restaurant. Ask for recommendations. Could you recommend a wine that goes well with the fish? Use simple vocabulary: dry, sweet, fruity, light-bodied, full-bodied, smooth, tannic. Talk about price politely. We're looking for something around the $40 range. Handle the tasting ritual. Swirl, sip, smile, and say, "That's lovely, thank you." Use natural comments. "This wine pairs perfectly with the steak." With these skills, you can relax in any situation, even in a fine dining restaurant with a long wine list. You don't need to be an expert. You just need the right phrases and confidence. In the next part, we will continue our advanced journey. We'll look at how to have small talk at the table, how to connect with your dining partners, and how to sound confident in social conversations during a meal. Dining out is not only about food and drinks, it is also about connection. A meal is a social event, a chance to talk, laugh, and build relationships. Whether you are with friends, colleagues, or even strangers, conversation at the table is just as important as what's on the plate. For English learners, this can feel intimidating. You might worry, "What if I don't know what to say?" Or, "What if the conversation goes quiet?" Don't worry. With the right tools, you can join any dining conversation confidently. 1. What is small talk? Small talk is light, casual conversation. It is not serious or heavy. It is about creating a friendly atmosphere. At a restaurant, small talk helps people feel comfortable. Common small talk topics include the food or drinks, travel, the weather, hobbies, work or studies but not too serious. Avoid topics that are too private, too political, or too negative. Remember, dining is about enjoyment. Starting small talk. Here are some simple, natural ways to start small talk at the table. About the restaurant. "This place has such a nice atmosphere, doesn't it?" "Have you been here before?" About the food. "The menu looks amazing. What are you thinking of ordering?" "This starter is delicious. Would you like to try a bite?" About general life. "So, how has your week been so far?" "Do you have any plans for the weekend?" These openers are friendly and easy. They invite the other person to share without pressure. 3. Keeping the conversation flowing. The secret to good small talk is not to talk too much about yourself, but to show interest in the other person. You can do this by asking follow-up questions. For example, "I went to Italy last summer." You, "Oh, that sounds amazing. Which city did you like the most?" Or them, "I'm studying computer science." You, "That's great. What part of computer science do you enjoy most?" Notice how the follow-up question keeps the conversation alive. It shows you are listening and interested. 4. Useful small talk phrases. Here are some natural phrases you can use. Showing interest. Really? That sounds interesting. Oh, wow. Tell me more. Agreeing politely. Absolutely. I know what you mean. That's so true. Sharing your own thoughts. For me, I think, in my experience, these phrases make you sound active and engaged in the conversation. 5. Polite table manners in conversation. Good small talk is not only about words, it is also about manners. At the table, you want to be polite and considerate. Here are some tips. Don't interrupt. Wait until the other person finishes. Don't speak with your mouth full. Take a sip of water or swallow before speaking. Share the conversation. Don't dominate. And don't stay silent the whole time. If the food is shared, always offer first. Would you like to try some of this? These small gestures make you a pleasant dining partner. 6. Social confidence phrases. Sometimes English learners feel shy. They worry about making mistakes. But remember, confidence is not about being perfect. Confidence is about being willing to join the conversation. Here are some useful phrases you can use when you feel unsure. I'm not sure if I said that correctly, but what I mean is, sorry, what's the word for? Could you explain that a little more? These phrases are very natural. Native speakers use them too. They show honesty and keep the conversation flowing, even if your English is not perfect. 7. Cultural awareness. In English-speaking cultures, there are a few conversation habits that make dining more comfortable. Complimenting the food. It is common to say something nice about the meal. Example, this is really tasty, isn't it? Including everyone. Try to ask questions that invite all people at the table. Example, what's everyone's favorite dish so far? Light humor. A small joke or funny comment is welcome, but avoid anything rude or offensive. Remember, the goal of small talk is not to impress, but to connect. 8. Ending the meal politely. As the meal comes to an end, conversation often shifts to lighter or future-oriented topics. You can say things like, "This was such a lovely evening. Thank you for coming. We should do this again sometime. Next time, we'll have to try that new place down the street." These closing phrases leave a positive impression and make people look forward to the next meeting. Quick recap. In this part, we focused on small talk and social confidence at the dining table. Key lessons. Start small talk with simple questions about the restaurant, food, or general life. Keep the conversation flowing by asking follow-up questions. Use useful phrases like, "Really? That sounds interesting. Tell me more." Practice good table manners. Don't interrupt. Don't talk with your mouth full. Share the space. Use confidence phrases when you are unsure. Sorry, what's the word for? Be aware of cultural habits. Compliment the food. Include everyone. Keep humor light. End politely with phrases like, "This was such a lovely evening." By practicing these skills, you will not only survive a meal, you will shine in any dining situation. You will connect with others, enjoy yourself more, and show that you are comfortable in English. In the next part, we will move into something even more advanced: business dining and professional meals. You will learn how to handle business lunches, networking dinners, and formal events with confidence and professionalism. So far, we have practiced how to enjoy a meal with friends, family, or even strangers in social situations. But dining is not always only about pleasure. Sometimes it is also about business. In many English-speaking countries, meals are used as opportunities to discuss work, build partnerships, or strengthen professional relationships. For English learners, this can feel like a big challenge. You may worry about sounding professional, polite, and confident while also trying to enjoy the meal. Don't worry, we will break it down step by step. 1. The purpose of business dining. In business culture, meals are not only about eating, they are about relationship building. A lunch or dinner with colleagues, clients, or partners is a chance to build trust, show respect, share ideas in a relaxed setting, strengthen cooperation. Understanding this purpose will help you approach the meal with the right mindset, professional but friendly. 2. Arriving and greeting. When you arrive at a business meal, the first impression matters. Dress neatly, smile, and greet people politely. You can say, "Good afternoon. It's so nice to see you again. Thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to our meal together." These phrases show professionalism and warmth. If you are meeting someone for the first time, introduce yourself clearly. "Hello, my name is David Nguyen. It's a pleasure to meet you." Shake hands if it is culturally appropriate. In many English-speaking countries, a handshake is the standard greeting in professional settings. 3. Ordering politely in a business setting. During a business meal, ordering food is not only about personal taste, it is also about showing consideration. Here are some tips. Avoid very messy foods, like spaghetti with too much sauce. Avoid very strong-smelling dishes, like garlic-heavy meals. Choose something simple and easy to eat while talking. When ordering, use polite language. "I think I'll go with the grilled salmon. That sounds excellent." "The chicken sounds nice. I'll have that, please." If your host makes a recommendation, it is often polite to accept it. "That sounds great. I'll try that as well." This shows openness and respect. 4. Conversation at the business table. This is the most important part. During a business meal, the conversation is usually a mix of light topics and professional topics. But remember, the dining table is not the same as the office. The goal is to build a friendly connection, not to negotiate every detail. Good conversation topics: the restaurant or the food. This is such a nice choice of restaurant. Travel. Have you had a chance to travel recently? Business lightly. I read about your company's new project. It sounds very exciting. Avoid heavy topics too early. Don't start with money or problems. Wait until the meal feels comfortable, then slowly move toward professional subjects. 5. Useful professional phrases. Here are some polite and professional phrases you can use during the meal. Showing appreciation. Thank you for inviting me today. I really appreciate it. This is a wonderful restaurant. Great choice. Introducing light business talk. I'd love to hear more about your recent project when you have a chance. How has your team been finding the new changes? Responding politely. That's very impressive. It sounds like a great opportunity. These phrases show that you are engaged and professional without being too formal. 6. Handling the bill. One question many learners have is, who pays in a business meal? The answer depends on the situation. Often the person who invited pays. If you are the guest, you can politely offer, but usually the host insists. Here are some natural ways to handle this moment. Offering, shall we split the bill? Please, allow me to contribute. Accepting when the host insists. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Never argue too much about payment. A polite offer is enough. 7. Ending the meal. The way you finish the meal is just as important as the way you start. Always thank your host or your guests. Use professional but warm phrases. Thank you so much for this wonderful meal. I really enjoyed our conversation. This has been a very productive and enjoyable meeting. I appreciate your time. I look forward to working together in the future. These closing sentences leave a positive impression and strengthen the relationship. 8. Cultural tips for business dining. Punctuality. Always arrive on time or a few minutes early. Being late looks unprofessional. Phones. Keep your phone on silent and off the table. Focus on the people with you. Alcohol. If alcohol is offered, you can accept a little, but don't drink too much. Stay professional. Politeness. Use please and thank you often. These small words are powerful in business culture. Quick recap. In this part, we focused on business dining and professional meals. Here are the key points. Business meals are about building trust and relationships, not just food. Arrive on time, dress neatly, and greet politely. Order food that is simple and easy to eat. Keep conversation light, then gently move toward business topics. Use professional phrases like, "Thank you for inviting me. That sounds impressive." Handle the bill politely. Offer once, then accept if the host insists. End with gratitude and a positive outlook. With these tools, you will not only survive a business meal, but you will also shine as a professional who communicates with confidence and respect. In the next part, we will explore something even more advanced: formal events, banquets, and fine dining etiquette. You will learn how to handle very formal meals where the rules are stricter, but where you can still feel confident and graceful. You now know how to enjoy meals with friends, colleagues, and even in professional settings. But there is one more level of dining that many learners, and even many native speakers find challenging formal dining and banquets. This type of meal often happens at weddings, charity events, business conferences, or official ceremonies. The atmosphere is elegant, the setting is structured, and the rules are stricter. But don't worry, once you learn the basic etiquette and phrases, you will feel confident and graceful in any formal setting. 1. The atmosphere of formal dining. In a casual restaurant, things are relaxed. In a formal dinner, everything is more structured. Tables are often set with many pieces of cutlery, forks, knives, spoons. The meal may have several courses: starter, soup, main dish, dessert, coffee. There may be speeches or toasts. The key here is to stay calm, observe others, and follow the flow. 2. Understanding table settings. One common fear is, which fork do I use? The answer is simple. Start from the outside and move in. The fork and knife farthest from your plate are for the first course. The next set is for the main course. The small fork and spoon at the top are often for dessert. This rule works in almost every formal dining situation. If you are unsure, simply watch the host or the people next to you. Following their lead is always safe. 3. Language of politeness at formal tables. At a banquet, the way you speak is as important as what you eat. Here are some useful, polite phrases. When food is served, thank you very much. This looks wonderful. When you need something, could you please pass the bread? Would you mind passing the butter? Notice the soft, polite forms. Could you please and would you mind? These make you sound elegant and respectful. When you want to compliment, everything is beautifully prepared. My compliments to the chef. This is exquisite. 4. Toasts and speeches. In many formal dinners, there are toasts, short speeches where someone raises a glass to celebrate or honor someone. If you are giving a toast, keep it short and positive. For example, ladies and gentlemen, may I propose a toast to our wonderful hosts. Thank you for this beautiful evening. Here's to friendship, success, and many more shared meals together. If you are listening to a toast, simply raise your glass, smile, and take a sip after the speaker finishes. Fim. Conversation at formal dinners. Small talk is still important, but in a more elegant way. Good topics include the event itself. It's such a lovely occasion, isn't it? Travel. Have you visited London before? Culture. I recently read an interesting book about avoid heavy or controversial topics like politics, religion, or personal problems. Also, try to include everyone in the conversation. For example, what do you think of the dessert? To the person on your left. And how about you? To the person on your right. This makes the meal feel more inclusive. 6. Body language and manners. Formal dining is not only about words, it is also about body language. Here are some important tips. Sit up straight but relaxed. Keep your elbows off the table while eating. Place your napkin on your lap as soon as you sit down. Don't wave your fork or knife when speaking. Eat slowly and gracefully. These small details create an impression of elegance and confidence. 7. Handling mistakes politely. What if something goes wrong? For example, you drop your fork. Don't panic. Simply leave it and quietly ask the waiter, "Excuse me, may I have another fork, please?" If you spill something, apologize softly. "I'm so sorry. Let me help with that." Politeness and calmness are always more important than perfection. Opt. Ending a formal dinner. At the end of a formal meal, thank your host. You can say, "Thank you for such a wonderful evening. It was a real pleasure to be here tonight." If it is a business-related banquet, you can also add, "I truly enjoyed both the meal and the company. I look forward to continuing our collaboration." This leaves a lasting positive impression. Quick recap. In this part, we explored formal dining and etiquette. Key lessons. Understand the setting, many courses, many utensils, structured atmosphere. Remember the rule of cutlery. Start from the outside, move in. Use polite phrases. "Could you please pass the bread?" Handle toasts with short, positive words. Choose elegant small talk. Travel, culture, the event. Practice good body language. Sit straight, napkin on lap. Eat slowly. Handle mistakes calmly. Ask politely for help. Thank your host warmly at the end. With these tools, you will no longer feel nervous at weddings, official banquets, or fine dining events. You will look confident, sound elegant, and enjoy yourself fully. In the next part, we will move into something practical and useful for travelers. Dealing with problems and special requests at restaurants, for example, dietary restrictions, allergies, or when the service is very slow. This will prepare you for real-life challenges. So far, you've learned how to order food, make compliments, give polite complaints, and even shine in formal or business dining situations. But in real life, things don't always go perfectly. Sometimes the service is slow. Sometimes your order is wrong. Sometimes you have a food allergy or a special request. In English, the way you handle these moments is very important. If you are too direct, you may sound rude. If you are too soft, you may not get what you need. The secret is to use polite, clear, and confident language. Let's practice together. 1. Asking for special requests. Many people have dietary needs. Maybe you are vegetarian. Maybe you can't eat peanuts. Maybe you prefer your food cooked a certain way. How can you ask for this politely? Here are some useful phrases. "Could I have this without cheese, please?" "Would it be possible to have the sauce on the side?" "I'm allergic to nuts. Could you make sure this dish doesn't contain any?" "I don't eat meat. Do you have any vegetarian options?" Notice the polite forms. Could I? Would it be possible? These are soft and respectful. If you want your food cooked a special way, you can say, "Could I have the steak medium rare, please? Would it be possible to cook this a little longer?" These phrases are simple, but they make a big difference. 2. Handling slow service. Sometimes you are waiting for a long time and nothing arrives. You are hungry and a little frustrated. How do you ask politely? Here are some options. "Excuse me, I was just wondering if our order will be ready soon. I'm sorry to trouble you, but could you check on our food, please? I think we ordered about 30 minutes ago. Could you let us know if it's on the way?" These phrases are polite but clear. You are asking for help without sounding angry. 3. When the order is wrong. Mistakes happen. Maybe you ordered chicken, but they bring beef. Or you asked for water, but they bring juice. Here are some polite ways to handle it. "Excuse me, I think there may have been a small mistake. I ordered the chicken, but this looks like beef. I'm sorry, but I actually asked for a salad instead of fries." Notice the words "small mistake," "I think," "actually." These make your correction sound gentle, not aggressive. 4. If the food is not right, sometimes the food is undercooked, too salty, or simply not what you expected. This can feel awkward, but you can handle it politely. "I'm afraid the soup seems to be a little cold. This steak is a bit undercooked for me. Would it be possible to have it cooked a little longer? I was expecting something a little less spicy. Could I have some extra rice, please?" Again, notice the softeners. A little, a bit, I'm afraid. These make your words sound polite. 5. When you need to complain seriously, sometimes, unfortunately, the problem is bigger. Maybe the food is unsafe, or the service is very bad. In this case, you can still be polite, but you should be firm. "I'm really sorry, but I can't eat this. Could you please bring me something else? I understand you're busy, but we've been waiting for over an hour. Could you please check again? I'd like to speak with the manager, please." Asking for the manager is a normal step if the problem is serious. You don't need to be rude, just say it clearly. 6. When you want to send food back, sometimes you may need to return a dish. Here's how to do it politely. "I'm sorry, but this isn't quite what I expected. Could I change my order, please? I think there's been a misunderstanding. Would it be possible to return this and order something else?" Restaurants are used to this. If you stay polite, they will usually try to help. 7. When you have dietary restrictions, if you cannot eat certain foods for health or religious reasons, it's important to be very clear. For example, "I'm allergic to shellfish. Could you confirm that this dish doesn't contain any? I don't eat pork. Could you recommend something else? I'm vegetarian. Could you tell me which dishes are suitable?" Being clear and direct about allergies is important for your safety. 8. Phrases for appreciation even when problems happen. Even if there is a problem, it's good to balance your complaint with politeness. You can say, "Thank you for helping with this. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your patience. I know the restaurant is busy tonight." This shows respect for the staff and keeps the atmosphere positive. Quick recap. In this part, we practiced how to handle problems and make special requests in restaurants. Key lessons. For special requests, could I have this without cheese, please? For slow service, I was just wondering if our order will be ready soon. For wrong orders, I think there may have been a small mistake. I ordered the chicken. For food problems, I'm afraid the soup is a little cold. For serious issues, I'd like to speak with the manager, please. For dietary restrictions, I'm allergic to nuts. Could you make sure this doesn't contain any? Always add appreciation. Thank you for helping with this. With these polite but clear sentences, you can handle almost any restaurant challenge confidently. In the next and final part, we will bring everything together. We'll create a full restaurant story from start to finish, entering, ordering, drinking, eating, talking, handling problems, and paying, so you can see how all the skills connect in one smooth experience. Let's imagine the full experience of dining out in English. You will see how to use everything we've practiced, from asking for a table, ordering and making small talk, to handling problems and paying the bill. By the end, you will feel ready to live the entire journey with confidence. Scene 1. Arriving at the restaurant. You step inside a cozy restaurant. A friendly hostess greets you with a smile. You smile back and say, "Good evening. We have a reservation for 2 at 7:30 under the name Anna." The hostess nods and says, "Of course, this way, please." But imagine she takes you to a table near the door and it feels a bit noisy. Instead of saying directly, "I don't like this," you use polite, advanced English. "This is lovely, but I wonder if you might have a table that's a little quieter." The hostess smiles and shows you a better table. You say, "Thank you so much. That's perfect." Already you sound confident and polite. Scene 2. Ordering drinks. Your waiter arrives and says, "Can I get you something to drink to start?" You reply, "Yes, thank you. Could we have a bottle of sparkling water, please?" Then you add, "Do you have any recommendations for a light, fruity white wine to go with fish?" The waiter suggests a bottle. You smile. "That sounds lovely. We'll try that, thank you." The wine arrives, and the waiter pours a little into your glass. You swirl, taste, and say, "That's perfect, thank you." Scene 3. Ordering food. Now you look at the menu. The waiter asks, "Are you ready to order?" You begin, "Yes, I'd like the grilled salmon with lemon butter, please. And could I have the vegetables instead of fries, if that's possible?" Your partner says, "I'll have the chicken curry, please. Could you make it a little less spicy?" The waiter notes everything politely. Scene 4. Small talk at the table. While waiting for the food, you chat. You start light conversation. "This place has such a nice atmosphere, doesn't it? What are your plans for the weekend?" Your partner tells a travel story. You show interest. "Really? That sounds amazing. Which city did you like the most?" The conversation flows. You feel relaxed and natural. Scene 5. Complimenting the food. The food arrives. The salmon looks beautiful. You take a bite and say, "Wow, this is exquisite. The flavor is subtle, but so fresh." You turn to your partner. "Would you like to try a bite?" Sharing food creates connection. You also compliment the waiter when he returns. "My compliments to the chef. This dish is absolutely sublime." Scene 6. Handling a problem. But then your partner notices the curry is too salty. Instead of complaining rudely, they use polite English. "I'm afraid the curry seems a little too salty. Would it be possible to have some extra rice with it?" The waiter apologizes and quickly brings more rice. Problem solved, politely and smoothly. Scene 7. Toasts and appreciation. You raise your glass and say, "Here's to a lovely evening and wonderful company. Cheers." Your partner smiles and replies, "Cheers." These small toasts make the meal feel special. Scene 8. Dessert and conversation. The waiter brings the dessert menu. You decide, "Could I have the chocolate cake, please?" When it arrives, you taste it and say, "This is a triumph. The texture is velvety, and the flavor is rich but not too heavy." Your partner laughs and adds, "I think you sound like a food critic now." This creates a fun and light atmosphere. Scene 9. Asking for the bill. After finishing dessert, you're ready to leave. You say politely to the waiter, "Could we have the bill, please?" The waiter brings the check. You pay by card. Then you add, "Thank you very much. Everything was wonderful tonight." The waiter replies, "Thank you. We hope to see you again." Scene 10. Leaving with confidence. As you leave the restaurant, you smile and say to your partner, "That was such a lovely evening. We should definitely come back here again." You walk out into the night, feeling confident, polite, and happy. You used clear English, elegant phrases, and polite manners from start to finish. Quick recap. In this final story, we combined everything. Arriving. We have a reservation under the name Anna. Choosing a better table politely. I wonder if you might have a table that's a little quieter. Ordering drinks. Could we have sparkling water, please? Ordering food with requests. Could I have vegetables instead of fries? Small talk. This place has such a nice atmosphere. Compliments. My compliments to the chef. This is exquisite. Handling problems. I'm afraid the curry seems a little too salty. Could we have extra rice? Toasts. Here's to a lovely evening and wonderful company. Dessert compliments. This cake is a triumph. Asking for the bill. Could we have the bill, please? This full journey shows you how to manage every step of dining out in English. Final words. Congratulations! You have completed the entire training. From part 1 to part 10, you now have the tools to enter any restaurant with confidence, order drinks, food, and wine like a native speaker, make small talk and enjoy conversation, give compliments and handle complaints politely, shine in business meals and formal banquets, Handle special requests and problems with ease. Complete a full dining experience smoothly from start to finish. Now, the next time you walk into a restaurant, you won't feel nervous. You'll smile, speak with confidence, and enjoy the meal, not just the food, but the whole experience. Thank you so much for spending this time learning with me. Keep practicing every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Your effort will bring big results over time. And most importantly, enjoy the journey. You are not just learning English. You are becoming an English speaker. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss future lessons. I'll see you in the next practice. Keep believing in yourself and keep speaking with confidence.